And it is a very busy afternoon. One transfer line to bring you as well from Manchester United.
Can any of you see?
I think it's gone too far now. I think, like you mentioned, there's been that apology and that wait for an apology that hasn't come. The only way I think it would be realistic is if Ten Hag wasn't there anymore and then he could come back under a new manager and maybe reignite his career at Manchester United that way. But I think for the short term, until the end of the season, it feels like a good decision. And I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not having any indication on Ten Hag and his managerial position. I'm just saying that's probably the only realistic option if there's a change in manager, because the relationship between the two of them is completely broken down. He's not involved in first team training. He's not got that relationship anymore. There's no real kind of attempts anymore to try and build that back up, is there? So you can't realistically say you can come back onto that and get back to the top.
Well, he's emblematic of Manchester United's transfer policy as of late. You bring in a player for big money, expect them to perform whilst not considering the system that they're being dropped into.
Oh, he went in. I was like, I'm not saying anything. And Craig was like,
no, it's true.
No,
it's true.
And it's you can lay the blame at the door of Erik Ten Hag, but you can lay the blame at so many people, and that's the reason why Ineos have come in and they've got a new ruthless strategy. Melissa already talked about it in December about how Manchester United are going to be ruthless when it comes to contracts and when it comes to moving players on that don't fit culturally. And I think that Sancho's an example of that. And as a result of that, if Ten Hag does stay at United long term,
I can see him coming back. I can see him playing for Manchester United again at some point and actually still being a success. I really do.
I think the only way that could happen is like Harriet suggests, if there was a managerial change at Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag wasn't there anymore. I think that's probably the only way. Football does change extremely quickly. I believe, in my opinion, Ineos' plan is to continue with Erik Ten Hag at least until the summer, get some calm, get some structural changes, and hopefully Erik Ten Hag can be at the helm with those changes around him and see a different look to Manchester United, a different feel. And I think if that still, it will, comes to an end at Borussia Dortmund, I think if Erik Ten Hag's still there, I think it'll be very, very unlikely. Unless here's an apology and the two can, shake hands and move on. Football, funnier things have happened in football, but I think it's extremely unlikely.
Manchester United fans are going wild after fresh reports linked Brazilian midfield powerhouse Éderson with a sensational move to Old Trafford ahead of the summer transfer window. The Atalanta star has quickly become one of the most talked about midfielders in Europe thanks to his aggressive pressing, incredible physicality, tactical intelligence, and ability to completely dominate the center of the pitch. With United searching for more balance, energy, and defensive stability in midfield, many supporters believe Éderson could be the perfect solution to the club's long-standing problems. His performances in Serie A have attracted attention from top European clubs, but Manchester United are now heavily linked with making a serious move to bring the Brazilian warrior to the Premier League. Social media is already exploding with debates about how dangerous United's midfield could become if the transfer happens. Fans are convinced his intensity, work rate, and ball-winning ability would completely transform the team's style of play. Some supporters are even calling him the missing piece needed to restore Manchester United back to competing with Europe's elite clubs once again. Although no official agreement has been confirmed yet, the speculation continues to grow stronger every single day. Atalanta reportedly value the midfielder highly, meaning any deal could cost a massive fee, but that has not stopped excitement from spreading across the football world. If Manchester United managed to complete this blockbuster signing, it could mark the beginning of a brand new era at Old Trafford filled with power, aggression, and serious ambition. Could Éderson become the next midfield king at Manchester United? Or will another European giant hijack the deal before it's done? One thing is certain, this transfer story is only getting bigger.